Well, Sony did it. They finally announced a new camera in their cinema lineup, and I personally couldn't be more disappointed. Yeah, well, I guess I could be more disappointed, but I am a little bit disappointed. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why, but I'm also going to tell you why I pre-ordered one. Yeah, my feelings about this are a little complicated, so stick around and let's see if this camera is right for you. Now, first I need to tell you that Sony has not sent me a camera. Sony has never sent me a camera. Sony doesn't even know that I'm alive, even though I've given them thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah, I'm a Sony fan, but Sony's not really a fan of me. Yet. Sony's not a fan yet. So if you're looking for a video about my personal experience with this camera, well, you'll have to wait until I get it and have some personal experience. But I do have a lot of experience with the A7 IV. And let's face it, the FX2 is really just a beef-up version of the A7 IV. Yeah, Sony does this a lot. They took the A7 IV and then they made the A7C2. That's pretty much an A7 IV in a compact body. And now they've taken the same camera and they put it into the cinema lineup. And you know what? It probably wasn't a bad choice because the A7 IV, it's a fantastic camera. I bought it to be a B camera for my Sony A7S III. But you know what? It kind of turned out to be the A camera. And I only use the A7S III when I want to use super slow motion, for example, or if I'm in a real low light condition. Because this is really a nice camera. And I love it. But I don't love everything about it. But sadly, some of the things I didn't like about this camera, well, they haven't been fixed in the FX2. But some have. The big one is rolling shutter. Yeah, it still has the same chip in it, and it's still just as slow, and you still get that annoying rolling shutter in this camera. The A7S III is a little better, but you know what? We really want a global shutter, don't we? I do. Now, your frame rate choices are the same with the A7 IV as they are with the FX2, and that has a crop at 4K when you're shooting in 60 frames a second. But hey, I understand the crop. This camera has more megapixels in it, which is what makes it such a great hybrid camera for stills photography. It also allows you to have the feature clear image zoom, which is a feature that when I bought this camera, I didn't know how much I was going to enjoy it. Yeah, it basically means that you can crop in on your video. In other words, you can still get 4K even if you crop in because there's a lot more megapixels in this camera. And this makes your prime lenses, well, act like zoom lenses. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So from what I can see, the FX2 also has clear image zoom, which means that it's actually better in some ways than the FX3. Now, the FX2 didn't get an improvement in the resolution of the EVS, and this one is not as good as it is on the A7S III, but you know, I don't really have any complaints about this. This works just fine for me. Now, of course, this isn't as good in low light, but you know what? It's really good in low light. So yeah, I don't find myself having to reach for my A7S III as often as I thought I would. Now, if you're thinking about buying the A7 IV or get the FX2, well, it's kind of a no-brainer because the FX2 is only a couple $100 more, and it has a lot of extra features in it. First, it has a tilting EVF, and while it looks kind of cool, I was kind of hoping that it would be removable so I could pack my camera a lot easier. I'm a little worried about it getting knocked around because, yeah, I'm kind of rough with my gear. Probably shouldn't be. But if a tilting EVF isn't worth $200 to you, well, there is the new improved autofocusing chip, where Gordon Drake of Petapixels just told me this morning, he didn't call me, I watched his video, but he said, this is the best autofocus in any camera. Oh, and while there's no fan in the A7 IV, there's actually a new fan in the FX2 that's beefier. And that would be awesome, except, you know what? They didn't seem to upgrade the processors inside of this camera. So what are they cooling off? Is it that AI chip? I guess it could be, but probably not. Probably the camera body we see for the FX2 is going to be in the FX3 Mark II once it comes out someday. And then finally, with the FX2, we get shutter angle. Now, if you don't know what shutter angle is, well, it's basically a way of telling your camera that you always want to follow a certain shutter angle. So if you change the frame rate, well, then it will change the shutter speed of your camera so you don't mess it up. It's really just a feature that protects you from making a dumb mistake, which I make a lot. So yeah, kind of looking forward to shutter angle. Shutter angle. And I also like a lot of nice things, like it actually shows you that you're filming in 23.98 instead of just saying it's filming in 24, because it's not filming in 24, and that comes up a lot when you're trying to sync up cameras, especially to audio. Another improvement with the FX2 is dynamic active stabilization. And this is something we've seen in some other cameras, but it's not in any of the cameras that I own, because my cameras are old, like me. Oh, and the FX2 also supports anamorphic lenses. Now, that would be great if I only had an anamorphic lens. Oh, but that anamorphic support is only for certain types of anamorphic lenses. So I'll have to be careful. Oh, and it also films in DCI 4K at true 24 frames a second instead of 23.98, which it can also do. That's probably important to somebody out there, not particularly important to me. Oh, and the FX2 also has updated streaming capabilities as well. So that can be cool. Oh, there's some other things like you can use custom LUTs, which I don't think you can use in the 4. Oh, and there's some features for marking good takes by just pressing the shutter button. That's kind of cool. Oh, and in Gerald Undone's video, he actually showed how the noise is improved in the FX2 over the A74. And they did that by having less noise reduction inside the camera, which I think is kind of funny. And of course, the FX2 has the option for that $600 handle that also allows you to bring in 4 channels of audio, 2 with XLR and 1 little mini port on the side. Sony does make a similar audio interface for the A74. It just doesn't have the little handle on it and it doesn't lock on as securely. But I'm using one right now on my A7S III and it works fantastic. Oh, and while you buy the FX2, well, you can get that $600 handle for only $400. Yeah. That's a savings of $200 right there. So you might ask yourself, Mark, if you love this camera so much, why are you not excited to have it in a beefier cinema body that has some additional features as well? Well, the reason is those additional features aren't things that are really going to show up in my work. They're just little nicety features. They're not the big ones that I've been waiting for. So now for my reason for buying the FX2. Well, my reason is pretty simple. I could use a third camera. There's times when it comes up. And one thing I love about the A7S III and the A74 is that they match up very well. So the FX2 should match these other 2 cameras very nicely. And we'll see if it becomes my A camera or my B camera or my C camera, and I'll let you know in a further review. Hey, this might be a good time for you to subscribe so you can see that video when it comes out. Just saying. So while I'm buying the FX2, it's not the camera of my dreams. Because someday I'm hoping that Sony will come out with a camera that meets my expectations, specifically in 5 key areas. If you want to know what those features are, well, you can just watch that little video right over there, and I'll make my predictions. Hey, thanks for stopping by.